Intruder style and colour combination, and this is one that I've put together. It's quite simple. Obviously orange, using some nice long hackles and so on. There is quite a lot to this type of fly, fished for steelhead especially, but very productive and very popular with many anglers. And this is one of the flies I'm putting together for friends. I mean, you get them all the colours, most popular colours like pinks, purple, blue. There's a nice purpley coloured one. Black, chartreuse is a nice colour. There's a blue and black in that one, and then the chartreuse and black in this one here. Now these flies take about half an hour to tie, and quite a bit of materials you've got to sort of build up to get to tie these. But they are fun. They're a bit of fun to do. So first thing I'm going to do is basically attach the hook. Now there's a few hooks you could use. Now the one in this fly, I'm going to be using this is a partridge tube single. You can see it's in gold. Slightly straight in the eye. Most of the hooks, Intruder style hooks, are up-eyed. In this case, this is one this is from Daiichi, and obviously coloured, which could be used as well. Now I'll take this off the vise and I'll show you the stuff you need actually to build it up and make it. Now the Shanks are from a company called Fish Skill. This company here on this side, right? And you can see they can come, and there's lots of Shanks out there, and I've just got these ones. Basically you can see in different colours, pink, green, blue. And the one I'm going to be using is a copper. And these are 40 centimetres, or 40 millimetres, sorry, or 40 mil. The different sizes, 25 and so on. Quite easy to attach the shanks. Hold is just as like I would put a hook into a vise. If you feel it's slightly twisted, which I think there is, I've slightly twisted it or pulled it in, which is fine. Now the hook and the wire that we use, or the wire I'm using in this case, is a soft flex. You can see it's a beading wire. It's a coated wire, plastic coating outside, the wire inside, wire strands. And this one is 26 pounds, so it's quite strong. Now, to tie a fly this size, I measured it out to save a bit of money, obviously, because I don't want to waste too much. This is 7 inches long. I'll probably lose maybe, say, a centimetre or so either side by the time I'm finished with the fly. Now the hook. Now, to both ends form the loop to attach the hook. Bring from underside, in this case, and over, or bring the single between, pull it, and as you can see, you pull it tight. You want to try and keep these ends even, and that there will basically give you your hook. Now some like it obviously upside down like that. You can take the hook off, as long as what you do is you tie this on so that if you want to replace the hook, which just in case you damage it, now you can actually take it up and take this off, and that's as far as you want to go. Don't want to go any further than that. And there we are. Now what I like to do, I'm going to add a bit of colour. This is a silicone tubing. This one's from Vineyards. They're looking for around about short of an inch. I'm going to slip it down. Really tidy up this join here. Just the silicone's nice. It's soft. It's flexible. And you see, and it adds a bit of colour to the tubing, and helps keep the hook nice and straight. So it works as normal. You can change that to all colours. It comes in pink, black, clear, chartreuse. They all do well. Now thread, I'm just going to use this is a 6/0 white thread. The first thing we do is put down a layer of thread on the shank, controlling the turns with the waist piece all the way down. Nice and tight. You get to this point here, make sure it's nice and tight. Right to the point where it opens out. Break away the waist piece. Now I'm just going to put my wax on. Now I use a small piece of wax here, just the side of my finger. And the heat of my finger holds it. So I like to nice and tight. The wax stops water penetrating the thread, but at the same time keeps it nice and tight. So we go back to our wire, our length. Now I catch it on the back, but the wire's on the side of the shank. Now at this point you want to basically make sure it's straight. If it's not straight, you can move these around at this point till you're happy. And it's important that you do get them the way you want. That's fine. And now what I'm going to do is then work my way up. Now you'll find obviously the bends are formed, or the eye parts of the shank are bent and then cut away at a certain point. Now obviously if you want, say, a nice smooth body, try and keep it as smooth as possible within them. So bind the wire between these points. Now I'm going to fold it back, take the thread all the way up. You'll never get it perfect, you'll get it close, but you'll get a reasonable body. Now I'm not really too bothered because I'm going to be using a dubbin, and a dubbin's easy to cover up any lumps and bumps. Now what I'm going to do here is fold this back. Just take my time. Now I'm folding it back basically on your side. Then put a few tight turns in, making sure the wire is as smooth as possible, meaning sitting right. Now I've got an old pair of scissors here, and I'm going to trim this to this point here, just where the wire for the shank has been bent and cut. And that should balance it up, that's fine. Now I'm just going to quickly take the thread up at this point. You can move it around to sit where you want, and then some super glue onto the shank. And I'm going to run on down, tidying things up, make sure things are nice and tight and reasonably smooth. Just take your time. Now you are going to be tying on it again, so it's going to get much stronger. And it shouldn't pull out, especially if the wire's within these cut ends. There's less chance that it gets slipping through. Just going to hit finish. And there. Basically that's your shank ready. As you can see, ready to tie your fly. And again, it takes a wee while to build this up. Now you could take away the single. Now what I like to do, I should have done it before I was tying the hook on, is put a wee plastic sleeve on the point of the hook, which will obviously stop you jagging yourself. I'm just used to doing it, I've done that many now, so, but just for safety you should really put that on. It's just a fine tubing, any tubing, even a bit of the silicone would do, just to sit over and it would hold it. And that's us ready to tie your fly. Just make sure it's sitting in the vise. And then thread I'm using, this is a uni thread, Flo-Orange, which suits the colour of the fly. Just starting at the back, up and down a couple of times, make sure the thread's well tied on. Now dubbin I'm going to be using, this is just a dubbin by loop. and this is a Thunder and Lightning. It's a kind of blue, orange, brown mix, which I like. It's a nice colour. You could use pure orange if you wish. I'm going to use this for the body and for forming basically a ball of dubbing at the back to help keep the hackle fibres up, and obviously they'll pulsate much better. So I'm just dubbing this on and just form a ball. You get up and down with it, tightening up the ball, making sure it's nice and tight. It's like a stopper if you want to call it. Draw it back here, get the thread turned really in. That's fine. Now the hackles I'm going to be using, there's one at the front, there's quite a few, but there's the two Schlappen hackles dyed hot orange. Now I need one for the back and one for the front, so take away the rubbish. We're tying this in at the bottom of the hackle. Just going to fold this back. It broke away there, but I've got it nice and tight. Fold the fibres, and then get at least, I would say, 3 to 4 turns in there. That's fine. Now you could use, I'll use this front part of the Schlappen hackle just to finish the fly off at the front, because that's a good hackle. It'd be a shame to waste it. Set it on your desk. Again, tidy up. Then I'm going to tie in a dyed orange. It's a golden pheasant tippet. Nice feather here. This one here. Quite a nice long fibre. Just check the length. A couple here. See how long the fibres are. There we are. Now these are great feathers to wind on. What you do have is fibres with a nice marking and different lengths, so they're all going to move separately. They're not going to be stuck together. So I'm just going to pull that, tie it in by the tip, offer it on the side with the good side of the feather to myself, the front. Fold that back, and we could just leave that. It's not going to do anything. Just draw back these fibres. Now we really want to wind one turn in front of the other. You don't want to overlap these turns. If you overlap them, what happens, you'll tend to tie down these fibres, and you don't want to do that. So give yourself plenty of room to wind the hackle. Get to this point here, come across your thread, put a 90-degree bend into it, keeping the thread nice and tight. Now I'm just going to take this straight up, trim this the length of the body. Reasonably tidy tying it, and bring them, come back down. Just open these fibres out so that as you twist the hackle, what happens, the fibres get sort of caught in between each turn. So you have to kind of bring these back, so bring them back towards yourself. As you wind away from yourself, you've got to bring them back, and this will cause the fibres to sit out, and that's what you're looking for. Now I'm going to take the thread a good centimetre or so away from the hackles, and then I'm going to tie in some dyed Rhea. Now Rhea is a type of ostrich. Here they are, and this is a Sunburst and a hot orange, or flame as we would call it. Same colour as the Schlappen hackle. Now take away some of the fluff at the bottom. Now I'm going to put a 50-50 mix of the Sunburst and the hot orange, maybe. There we go. Now what I'm doing is bringing it out, so 90 degrees from the stem. You'll see the tips lining up, then tearing it off. There we go. And then between the fingers I'm going to roll these fibres. Now if you don't have Rhea, you could use dyed peacock arrow, bleached and dyed you get, which is really good. I do use it. I've used it in other patterns and used it in some of those. But if you can get the Rhea, then it's really nice to use. It's the good stuff. Length, I'm looking to fibres towards the end of the hook, just to mask that area, just to cover it. Now the reason I took the thread further up is so that I can roll these, so I get the length I want, and I can roll the fibres round the shank. Just encouraging it with your fingers. 2 or 3 turns. Now at this point what I'm going to do is bring the main fibres I'm using for the fly where I want them to sit. Just recheck all the way around. Looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but it'll pull together once we go down. We trim away the waste. Again, what we could do is just to tidy this area up, then come back. Now I'm going to wax my thread. As I wind down, try and keep the thread turns of the straight, and as you wind, you can place these fibres as you wind down towards the golden pheasant and your Schlappen hackle. Now you'll see it starting to open out like an umbrella, really. So you're pushing these fibres up against your hackle, and as you can see, it's all the way around. It's going to give the fly a lot of movement, and exactly what you're looking for, and you need that in this fly. A bit of flash now. Now it's the same loop. Got a bit of many flashes out there you could use. There's other companies as well. These are compatible, they go with one another. Same colour as the dubbing, really. Don't be shy with the flash. Now I'm going to put this on the sides, the length of the rear. Then we're tying it on my side. Then I'm going to take the thread up slightly, fold it, I'll bring it to your side, keeping hold of these ends, and then come in with my scissors and cut it with the inside, just cutting it slightly different lengths as you go up towards the end of the rear. Now, to see how this pulsates and moves, I've got the hairdryer here, so I mean it's on cold setting, so it basically will show you how the fibre moves. So, and there it's there, you can see basically how it's sitting. It's best if you can do that, because it helps to show you the proportion of the fly, make sure you get everything right. And everything's wound round, you can see how it swims, so if there's an issue you can always go back at that point. Now I'm using a braid, a fluorescent orange braid for the rib, this one here, I should have got a piece of line, yep. Just to highlight the body, you can use a gold, which suits it. Use whatever colour you like, and just quickly running the thread up and down to catch it in. Nice and tight. Now we're back to the dubbing. You can see where I'm going with the dubbing, the body, going to this area here. Then I'm going to form another ball with the dubbing at the back, just like I did at the back, sorry, to lift the front hackles, or fibres. I'm just going to dub this onto the thread. I'm going to lightly do it just to put it round, because I can tighten up when I go into the body. As you can see, there's my anchor point, so then I can twist the dubbing, tighten it up, stretch it out whenever I want. So you need to work your way up. So once you will catch 1 or 2 fibres, just take your time. To say, these are flies, take a good half hour to tie. You don't need a huge amount. These guys that go fishing with these, I mean if you're fishing for a week you will need a good couple of dozen or so, because you will go through them. And time for yourself to try, and they are coming into the salmon fishing. There is a few guys experimenting. Stuart Foxwell is one guy who's doing a lot just now, and some really nice patterns. Now I can tighten this up. And again, the other thing you could do, you could put a body hackle on this if you wish. Just going to bring out some of the dubbing, which will give me the impression of one anyway. Body hackle, short fibre, not too long. It's up to yourself. Again, I'm going back to the dubbing to form the ball just this, to lift the hackles. So you've got to give yourself a good bit of room. Need some more. You can see what I do with the packet here. I just cut the corner off and push it up. It's much easier than opening and closing these. Doesn't fall out unless you cut too big a hole, like, but you should be fine. I mean, the flies are not hard to tie, they're just time consuming because there's a lot to them. So once you're happy, you can tighten up here at the front, just push fibres tight. Now the first hackle this time I'm going to put on is the golden pheasant. Again, it's the dyed orange tippet. Tie in by the tip. Just come in. Just put your wax on the thread. 2-3 turns down. Come back up against the tip. Now you could trim it away or leave it, it's up to yourself. I'll just again trim this away. And then fold the fibres back, and again do one turn in front of the other. Quite a thick stem on these, so just watch what you're doing. Give yourself plenty of room. Get to this point here, come in, make sure the thread's tight. Put that bend into the stem, which will lock in your turns. I know it's a bit of a mess looking, but we can tidy this up. I like to keep the fluff on some of these hackles. It gives me grip when I'm winding the hackle down. That's why I didn't remove it there. Again, a bit more wax. And there we go. Bring these fibres round. Once you start to fish the fly, you'll see the fibres still sit better. Now you can see the advantage of the winding the golden pheasant. You've got different lengths. These fibres start down here, and then the middle, 3/4 length, and then full length. They've all got the wee black tips, and they all show up in the water. I mean, there's a few Irish wet flies that I tie like that. Now, back to the Rhea, the shorter. If you've got 2 or 3 feathers and you've got shorter feathers, shorter fibres, then use them. If you haven't, just go back in, line up the ends. Again, it's a 50-50 mix of the Sunburst and the hot orange. There we go, see we just come in, once we get them lined up with the orange, then we can tear it off. And then back to rolling and mixing these fibres within my fingers. Again, what I'm going to do is take the thread down halfway. Don't want them too long, you don't want them away down here, you want them just towards the end of the tips. Get my length, so hold them on top, and then again we're going to encourage these fibres all the way around. A wee bit of wax, a good half a dozen turns or so, and then trim away the waste. So watch your thread. Ooh, nearly got it there. As many times I've caught the thread, we all do it. Again, a wee bit of wax, make sure it's nice and tight. Tie these ends down, tidy up the head area. Now, I'm just going to make sure these fibres again are all the way around, because what I'm going to do is wind towards the golden pheasant. Nice straight turns, up against the hackle. As you get to the hackle, it will start to spread out. And what I'm going to do here is show you it with the hairdryer, the movement you get, and at the same time you can actually see where things are sitting, because you can always again go back if you're not happy. You haven't got a nice sort of mix, and you see how it's sitting. That nice shape, that's what you're looking for. Now we're going to get back to our flash. Just going to grab a few more fibres, try and get a nice mix of these fibres. Now what I'm going to do here is going to put some, don't want them the same length, but the same length of the hackle. Some on the top. Bring the fibres or bring the flash through the shank, tie it underneath. Again, I'm going to trim it different lengths. Still got some left here, so I can add it on the sides if I want some more. Just saves it going to waste, so I'm putting it on the side, my side, then bring it to your side, folding it back. That looks about right. Then I'm going to get another Schlappen hackle. Okay, it's nice flame, nice strong orange. You can change the colour, I mean you could even put black in the front of this and this will change the look of the fly, and you can mix the colours to suit yourself and suit where you fish. Nice feather here. Taking away the fluff. Just tie it in on the side. Nice and tight. Now I've got plenty of room to tie this down. Got wax on with thread. Gives me lots of grip. And then we're looking to fold the hackle as we wind. I like to do that. Just want to come a wee bit tight up against the hackle here. Just see that. There we go. We do a turn front to the other again. Try not overlap tons of hackle. And this will taper off and finish off the fly. Just going to wind down. Cross with thread. 2 or 3 turns down. Now we could fold this back, which would really tuck it in. Just tidy up the head area. Right, I'll see how that looks. That's fine. Now I'm going to put some jungle cock on the fly. Now, I've got 2 large jungle cock eyes, and these are optional. You don't have to put these on because a fly like that, you could be fished quite easily. But I'm just going to, I've got loads of the big stuff that I'm using up. Some's good, some's bad, but once it's in the water it pulls together well. I've got 2, as I say, good size eyes. I'm looking from the eye to be round about the back of the shank. So I'm just going to open out that area so I can tie in. Get the same length. Just on the tops. Go around with 2 or 3 turns. Just to hold them. See where they're going to sit. See, they make sure they're the same length. You see that there? That's okay. And then again, I'm going to put some wax on my thread to keep the thread turns tight. Most likely the thread will slip. Now I've basically tied on to some of the fibres on both feathers as well as the stem. No, it's not the bare stem I'm tying on to, so it gives it a bit more grip. Now for strength, I'm going to fold back like I do a lot. It'll never pull out, it's going to break off then. So nice and tight. And come in and trim away the waste. Tidy the head area up. And there we are. Then we get into whip finish. Again, I'm always tidying areas while I'm finishing off with a whip finish. Draw your thread. And there we are. Now, to speed up, what I like to do is when I'm varnishing the heads of quite a lot of these flies, what I'll do is super glue first. It's really hard, sets really quick, and I'm applying it with a brush. This is the Loctite Easy Brush version, so it dries Again, I'm going to just speed it up a wee bit. This will dry the super glue. You'll see it'll get tighter. Obviously as it's drying, then I can varnish it. Then once that's dry, then I can finish off another coat and the fly is finished. So ready to go. So I'll help you see it. This is exactly how I would tie the fly. So I'd get to this point and I would set it down. Once the varnish is dry, another coat of varnish.